Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you a brief video with some verbal instructions about an upcoming assignment that's due on Thursday, April the 2nd. This is the small group activity plan pre-planning reflection. And so you'll find this assignment link in the week 9 course module. And so what the pre-planning reflection is all about is it's a nice way for you to start planning some of the key components of your small group activity plan before you're actually writing it up in that template that we have been looking at in class. So this actually allows me to see your thought process. It allows me to see if you have considered the elements of active participatory learning in the activity that you are planning. It allows me to see if the standards that you've chosen are appropriate and help to focus and guide the activity. And then again, it just helps you to start thinking about ways that you're going to support students that will be at different developmental levels during this activity. And so all of these things it's just a nice way to brainstorm this information. I don't expect this pre-planning reflection to be absolutely perfect. Some of these things that you're going to be reflecting on might be a little bit confusing. They might not be completely solidified. You might need a little bit of help and guidance with some of these things. So if you do, go ahead and put that in the reflection. This is what I'm thinking, but I need a little bit more help with this. Can you help me with that? So when I'm grading these, I can see what you're thinking and what help you really are seeking to get from me. I'm here to help you. I really want these small group activity plans to be really great and detailed and really reflect a developmentally appropriate activity. So again, if you're struggling with some of these things, then try to do your best to reflect on this information. But then feel free to put in there, I need some more help brainstorming this, or can you help me think through this a little bit more clearly? I'm more than happy to work with you on those things. So again, these are the bulleted things I need you to reflect on in that pre-planning reflection. The first is to describe the interaction you observed during your classroom observation that help you determine the interests of the children that inspire this activity. So as I mentioned before in class, the interactions that you observed during your 3 hours of observation should be helping to give you some ideas on the interests that you could use to plan an activity around. So those 3 interests that you reflected on in paper 2 of your observation assignment, you're going to take one of those interests and use it as your inspiration for your activity. So what I want you to discuss in this first bullet point is just what was the interactions, what was happening in the classroom, what were the children doing, what were they saying, what types of things were they creating or representing that showed you that this was a clear interest of the children. So that's the first thing you're going to reflect on in the paper. The second thing you're going to reflect on is what learning standards you've chosen and how they will guide the learning process during the activity. So again, click into the Illinois Early Learning Standards. Remember that there's a link here on Blackboard for you to click in. It's right there. You can click and find those. So only pick 1 to 3. I don't want you to get too overwhelmed by having too many standards to think about. And so just make sure that you just pick a couple so that you can stay focused and talk about why did you choose these standards, how will they be appropriate for this activity, and how will they keep you on track during the activity. The third bullet point, how does the activity support the 5 components of active participatory learning? Again, just bullet point these 5 things and then just discuss how will it support those 5 things. The fourth bullet point here, how will you implement this small group activity so that it supports the children's linguistic and cultural diversity? Again, think about students in your classroom. Some of your students might not be English speakers. How will you help to support them? How will you help to support children that might be delayed a little bit in language? How will you just make sure that you're helping to support that in your class? And then the final thing that you're going to reflect on is how will you implement the small group activity so that it is individually responsive and supportive of the development and learning of individual children. Again, I put some little information here to help clarify that further. But again, it's all about differentiation. How are we going to make sure that there are pieces in this activity that you're adding or supplementing that will help to make sure that you're challenging students that might need challenged, helping students that might need a little bit of assistance during the activity. How will you make sure that there's different things that are part of the activity to help the students engage with it where they're at developmentally? So again, you've planned an activity. For the most part, everyone will be using the same materials and the same focus, and goals will be present for everyone in the activity. But again, depending on where students are developmentally, they'll approach that activity and engage with the materials different, and they'll get to kind of that end point in different ways. And so how are you going to help them get to the, be successful, to meet those standards that you've set for them based on where they're at developmentally? And so again, you're going to have to scaffold their learning, support them, provide materials or different things that might help those different levels of learners. So again, this might be one of the more difficult things to think through. Again, it takes, time in a classroom. It takes experience working with children to really understand how to do this. So I don't expect this to be perfect. I don't expect this part to be easy for you. It will be a little bit of a challenge, but again, try your best, and then I am here to support you and help you and clarify things as we go. So again, this is due on Thursday, April the 2nd. Again, next week is spring break. I don't expect you guys to be doing any work during spring break, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. I will be around. Obviously, we're all around right now because we have to stay in our homes and not go out too much. So I will be checking emails. So if you have any questions about anything, I'm here to help support you in that. But again, I just wanted to give you some verbal direction since we aren't able to meet face-to-face to talk through this assignment. I think that's all I have from now. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out. I really miss seeing you guys face-to-face and being able to help clarify concepts that way. But for now, this is what we'll have to do. And again, stay well. And if you need anything, just let me know. Bye, guys.